Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Revamped Founder. In this episode, we have Serge Kuznetsov with us. Serge is a serial entrepreneur. He has built almost 50 products in the 50 plus products actually in the past and four of them have dominated their respective niches. And he has attracted almost $8 million of funding in one of his startups. He currently is the co-founder and the chief product officer at INXY.io, which is basically the PayPal for crypto. Very interesting. So yeah, that's all about Serge. I hope you enjoy this conversation. This is a very interesting conversation. Do listen till the absolute end, and I hope you enjoy. So hey Sergey, how are you?
Hey Advik, I'm fine. A bit foggy today, but
Yeah.
still good. Like 15 degrees.
Yeah, that's pretty
Pretty
nice.
warm.
That's better than the Delhi actually.
Really? In Delhi it's colder?
Yeah, it's cold actually.
Wow,
Right now,
unbelievable.
I'm not sure what the
I thought
temperature is
it's
right
always
now.
like plus 30.
No. So like in the summer, that's really hot. But in the
Mm-hmm.
cold, it's really cold. Then winter,
Yeah,
it's like
because
it's
I was
pretty
there.
weird actually.
I was there in the middle of the summer, and I was
Yeah.
preparing for the marathon. And oh my God, I was like running every day for 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, and I almost died there. Really, it was 30 at 7 a.m. I think, and
Yeah.
the another really bad thing. It was a lot of dust in the air, so it was
Yeah.
hard to
Yeah.
breathe. I felt like I really gonna die. It's incredible. It
Actually,
was, I
the
think, the toughest.
yeah, a year ago, during December end,
Uh-huh.
the temperature at night in Delhi it was almost at 4 degrees Celsius.
Four?
Yeah.
34?
No, 4
Four. Oh, it's
in the
cold.
winters. Very cold.
So it's lowest, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the lowest ever, I think.
it's not going to minus.
No,
Never.
no, no, no. That let's hope so.
Yeah, the good thing about the Antalya, because it's on the beach and in nearby the mountains, so
Yeah.
it's really warm every time. But if you would like
Mhm.
to go to ski, for example, you just 1 hour away,
Yeah.
ski resorts, and that's it, just nearby. I haven't been
That's
there yet, but I really would like to. It's incredible.
yeah. So
Mountain
like
plus sea is the best combo.
yeah, best combination. I wish we had that
Absolutely.
in Delhi.
Yeah, it would be good. But it would be also the traffic jams crazy as is Mumbai,
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
it's damn crazy, man. I was trying to meet with three companies during one day, but it's impossible. Two is maximum, just impossible at all,
Yeah.
because you just
Absolutely.
stuck in the traffic jam and just, oh, come on. But it's really beautiful, even though I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, the city itself.
The traffic is crazy in Bangalore too. Bangalore is like
In Bangalore also, because
yeah.
it was not that bad actually.
These days it's like crazy there.
Hmm.
So like before we move forward, can you give an introduction like, of
Yeah,
yourself?
sure. Just tell about myself a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm Sergey. I'm the CPO of INXY.io. It's the crypto processing. We just started in the end of, well, we released in the end of July, so in the beginning of August. Uh, so started somewhere in, I guess, in, well, February, March, just, but was like few people working, then more and more and more. Right now we have around like 10 clients, 10 big clients onboarding, and we're growing pretty fast. It's just the main problem is, well, we do not have enough time, don't have enough engineers. as usually, in every IT company, you do not have enough engineers. It's always a problem. So yeah, it's well, I'm personally in Web3 from the beginning of the year, so really recently. In the diving deeper and deeper with every month, and got the feeling that I just scratched the surface, because it's incredibly deep, incredibly versatile. Every field in the Web3 is, well, something like the universe. And I love it because it's really like a challenge for the mind, challenge for the company. And that's pretty interesting. I will say about the strategy of the company a bit later. So some bit more background about me. So previously I was in fintech company. Then previously, before that, I built the big. Actually, we started from scratch the big technology company. We was developing the HVAC. I'm sure you have no idea what is that. It's like heating, ventilation, air conditioning. It's like the one unit in combining both air conditioner, breather, humidifier, so and even the heater. So everything you just control in one small piece of remote control. Just put the right temperature you would like to and the amount of humidity, and everything was working totally automatically, like cooling down, warming up, bringing more clean air from outside of the building, etc. So and before that, and that's a very important part because I will be coming back to this several times, I have no clue how the air conditioner is working. Like, have no simple idea of how it's working. Zero knowledge. So I hired a very good team of engineers. I got a very good understanding of how to assemble and how to build actually all the logistics and all this kind of stuff to create the real product. I have a lot of connections in the China, not connections or business. I've done a lot of business previously with China, so I know the logistics, I know the supply chains, I know the factories, the guys who could help me to verify that it's really working, and because that's a problem actually. Because when I was assembling the first prototype, I ordered, I think, like 3-4 pieces of each part of the equipment, and part of them was not working at all. So you should be prepared for that. With the physical products, it's another headache. Logistics, plus you should be really careful of each component. And so just within a year, we launched this product, created the product from scratch. And actually, there is no this kind of product around the globe. So it was pretty unique. And the biggest construction company bought us, invested like $7.6 million, I think, in the production. So really big sum of money, but each unit was not a cheap one, like 2K USD. And so we created the full scale production site on there. So and the most important part here, which I wanted to highlight, that you could not be prepared for that. And actually, each single product you build is always from scratch, like the new beginning, completely new process, new processes, new people, new markets, new competitors. Everything is new. And if you prepare for that, there is no obstacles. I mean, you have no idea about air conditioners. No problem. Within 2 months, you can dive into it and understand. It's not that hard. Well, if you will not be doing it by yourself, of course, but using the engineers to do that. Because if you will try to do it by yourself, of course, it's not possible. It's too hard. And the thing is, the same thing about Web3. It's completely new for me. It's just 1 year in, and just the beginning.
It's new for everyone.
No, come on. Yeah. Come on. There is some people who are there from 2016, I think, or even earlier. So there is some like dinosaurs.
Popularity right now.
Yes, true. And the interesting thing, I saw one really interesting slide, which is actually showing, the trend of crypto industry. And it's the same trend was previously for the internet from 1995 to 1991, and the same trend exactly for the crypto. So we're like 5, maybe 10 years before the very high and huge adoption of the crypto worldwide. So that's a good time to be the first in this field, to understand how it works. So I think it's really worth investigation. It's really worth investing in this, learning it, to dive deeper into it, because in the next 10 years it would be a very widespread. So you could be just one among like few people who know it pretty well on the very beginning of the industry. So which is really interesting, even though of course right now it's not the best time for investments, because after the FTX drop, oh my god. And we're actually
we'll talk later. We'll talk about
yeah, sure. Yeah. So yes, just a bit more about me. I'm the father of three sons. We moved to another country within this year, just recently. Like in 9 months, we're living in a new country. It was pretty tough for my wife, not for me. I'm a bit crazy guy and just could move any second wherever I would like to, and no problem for me. But it's a bit tougher for them. But right now she's happy because it's really like the weather is incredible, always sunny. Like 90% of the time is sunny. It's incredible. I love it. Yeah, and the temperature is really good, even in December right now. Yeah, it's like what is it? 11th of December. It's up to 18 degrees during the day. It's incredible. Well, and previously I was working a lot in big companies like corporation like LG Electronics. I was responsible for the TVs for the whole category on the market, and I know what the big enterprise is, and I really don't want to get back there. Never. It's like the bureaucracy, and the people are not thinking about how to make the good product. They're thinking how to survive. And that's amazing. I mean, you spend like 90% of absolutely, it's incredible. And I'm saying it to everybody, go into the small companies, go to the startups. You will earn like knowledge of 10 years in enterprise. Well, in enterprise, you get one very important lesson: how to survive in this harsh environment, and that's it. That's the main, actually, like the politics, all these underground games, and all this kind of thing. And that's it. You could be really poor product manager, you could be very bad salesman, but if you're good in politics, you will survive. And that's the thing I really hate about that. Yeah. Because it's not about the efficiency at all. I get one actually. And also, it also depends on with whom you're working with. In one company, I will not name it, just in case of not showing the names. We was able to capture like 90% of the market. I was responsible for the whole category, and I came to the general manager and says, "Come on, we have a unique possibilities, and we can capture whole market." Because our main competitor was bought by a bigger company, and they was restructuring all the things. And he told me, "No, we already made our the targets for this year. What I will be doing in the next year? I want my bonuses." And I was, what the fuck? Yeah, that's it. And we could really be number one, like 80% of the market could be ours. But no, what for? Next year he will not be getting his bonuses. He do not care, because he's not an owner. Because it's stupid motivation. They have these targets, and they do not care about everything else. And I mean, from the perspective of the headquarters, is also really stupid to put this kind of motivation. And I think this is because it was European company, and I think this is where they get it wrong, because United States companies may give you some part of the shares, even if it's tiny part of the shares, but you do care about how the company will work. how it will grow. But if you do not get it, come on, you do not all own it. You do not care about it. Well, I was always caring, but I'm a crazy guy. But majority do not care about it.
I was reading somewhere that Google and like most of these big tech companies, they give shares to all their new employees. So like
exactly. Yes, and it's really makes a difference. You know, you get the feeling that you own the company, even if it's 0.000 something of the company. It doesn't matter. In 10 years' time, you can be rich with even this percentage if the company will grow. So yeah, it's a really smart approach.
And it will be your responsibility to make it grow.
Absolutely, you feel your responsibility for that. Yeah, it's pretty simple, but damn, it works.
Yeah. So like moving on, like can you shed some light on INXY, what it does?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. In terms of the product, actually, it was interesting because we made a lot of interviews, a lot of cast devs to dive into, and actually our initial idea was completely different, because you know the idea which you builds in your mind and what customers are thinking is completely different usually. That's why it's so crucial to talk to your customers as much as possible at the very beginning when you prepared some idea, draft, or maybe MVP or something like that. So your first customer, but the good thing that we also was our own first customers, to be honest, because we was having a problem of sending the crypto salary every month, because I'm get my salary in crypto, and like 90% of our crew is getting salary in crypto. And when it's done manually, it takes like 5 to 6 hours to do it. It's crazy, because you should like with these 2 or 3 steps of verification each time you should send this amount of money, you know, and it's crazy. It takes like a tremendous amount of time. And right now it takes us about 5 minutes to set it up and just top up the balance, and that's it. It's working automatically. Completely automatic. So in the very beginning, yes, we did a lot of research. We did a lot of cast devs, and it's also really important that after we launched the first iteration of the product, we're talking like constantly with these first clients every single day to get the feedback, what should be improved. And that's actually, you know, a pretty old statement of Paul Graham about do things which do not scale. It's 2013. Damn, it's 2013, and it's still incredibly valuable. It's incredibly valuable. Really, every single line is valuable. And he's telling that, well, guys, just do your first clients happy with your product. Even if it's buggy, if it's lagging, you want to work properly, but you take a lot of attention to the customers, you talk to them a lot, you help them a lot, they will not care about it. They do not care about the quality. They will be okay with it.
They care about the experience.
Correct. So they feel that that you do care, that you spend a lot of time helping them to solve a problem, and etc. And it works. It really works, and we're still doing that. I would say not as much as we could, definitely, because I'm almost thinking of how it could be improved, and definitely we could do it even better. But even though it's really important, like the number one, I think the point which you should do. Another thing, actually about the product, right now we have like three main products inside the INXY.io. First one is the possibility for the businesses to receive payments for the crypto for the products and services. Correct. It's more like PayPal, to be honest. It's like combo of PayPal and Stripe, because for some features you should be registered in the INXY. So to make the recurrent payments, subscriptions, you should be registered. And in this case, we're more like PayPal. And this is the first thing. Yes, it's fully automated, like APIs. So seamless. It's just the person who would like to pay just choose INXY Payments and just pay. So this is the first thing. Second thing is the possibility to send crypto, like the salaries, or mass payouts to your employees, to the drivers, to affiliates, to freelancers, whatever. It depends on what your type of company is. And we have a few very big companies who will be onboarded within like a week, I hope. And they send like the mass payouts for hundreds, thousands of the employees around the globe, because they just made the research, and like 10 to 20% are ready to receive payments in crypto. And it's much faster, much easier for them than to receive the payments in the regular currencies, because it's sometimes it's a really pain in the ass to get the payments in the, if it's cross-border, it's always not an easy task. It takes a lot of time. They charge tremendously, like up to 10% of the sum they can take it out. And encrypted, like, well, in worst case, if it's Bitcoin, it can take you up to 1 hour in the worst case scenario, yeah? And they will charge you, okay, $1 to $2 maximum. Yeah. That's it. So like, it's incredible.
Do companies still, like, are they using crypto for payroll?
Who?
Like any major companies?
Yes. Actually, I what I see that the more and more companies around the globe are actually either trying to use it or already using it in some cases, especially if it's goes to the payrolls. Yes, especially in this case, especially for the distributed team who are working like in South Africa, in Canada,
like remote teams.
Yeah. More people distributed around the globe, the easier to use the crypto, because it's much faster, much cheaper for all the team. And the last one, I forgot about it. Actually, we also added the donation possibility. We charge a bit more for the donation, but you just have to sign up. You choose your username and use the link like inxy.io/username/donate, and that's it. And you can receive any types of donations in crypto, in any crypto with the support. With just 5 minutes time it will take you.
So like recurring donations or like
both one time and recurring as well.
So like Patreon, something like Patreon.
Something like Patreon, yes, with no such functions yet, for sure, because Patreon has a lot of unique features like social part when somebody's sharing some data things just for the patrons. Yeah, it's not yet developed, but we're thinking about this in the future.
Yeah.
So right now it's we have 20 people in the team. Some of them work part-time, like the marketing, but the core team of the developers, we just added 2 more. So we have right now 3 back-end guys, 2 front-ends, 1 DevOps, UX UI, one for the testing. So that's it. That's the core team, and 3 product managers, including me. If I count myself as a product manager, and 1 more. So like that. But we're very early, to be honest. Yeah. And right now we're in the process of the fundraising, and man, it's a nightmare, because it's the worst time, I think. Yes, we're in seed round, and I think it's the worst time possible when you would like to receive payments out of the crash of the FTX. Oh shit! Yeah. But what to do?
You can't do anything. You don't have control over it.
Yeah, we already started, so unfortunately, yeah. And the good thing, actually, and here I would like to point it out, that our strategy is actually for the Web2 companies. So we're focused right now mainly on the Web2 companies to help them to integrate the Web3 possibilities of payments, of the payrolls, etc. So we're not really dependent on the Web3. I mean, all this drop down, all these problems which currently happening in the Web3 space is not really tough for us, because, as I said, we're focused on the Web2 companies, like hosting businesses, ad networks, marketplaces. That's the main fields where we're moving right now. And it's also, the why we chosen that, because the previous experience of mine, of our founder and other core team, was in that field. So we have a very good network. We have a lot of connections in this sphere, and actually they already using the crypto part of the companies. So we're just helping them, other companies, to integrate it, to make them more crypto adoption, more possibilities. Because the interesting thing, even if you would just will add up the crypto payments, your revenues can be increased by 10 to 30% just with adding one more possibility for the payments. And it's incredible. Just do nothing, add pay in crypto, and you can increase your business by 10%, just like this. It's really interesting.
So I'm just wondering, I am not sure.
Sure.
If a company pays the employees in crypto, so the value keeps it keeps changing. How can they make sure that?
It depends. It depends. If you chose to pay in the stable coins, it's not a problem at all. If you choose to pay in the Bitcoin, yes, it could change even in an hour. So you send 1,000 in 1 hour, it could be either 500 or 2,000. So yes, it depends on how will you set it up. But of course, we use the stable coins. We use USDT for that. And we think it's the better way to pay in the stable coins, just to be sure you receive what was the same amount you wanted to have them.
Yes,
not to have the problems. And the same for the crypto payments. I mean, for the receive the crypto, the companies are choosing in which crypto they would like to receive payments. So in Dogecoins, in Litecoins, in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, in stable, whatever you would like to. It's up to you. If you would like to get Bitcoins and you know that it can be, completely different amount of money within an hour, okay, it's your choice. You just would like to do that. So you understand the problems and possibilities. So why not?
So moving ahead, can you talk a little bit about the infrastructure, INXY, the security, because crypto can get pretty dicey at some times.
You mean the concerning our products or just in general?
First, just in general, and then you can talk about what your products, what INXY does, in order to prevent that.
That's a tough question, because it's depending on the type of the product, depending on what you do. If it's like investments, it's like completely different sphere. If it's just receiving payments, it's completely different thing. So really depends on what you do. So it depends, and there is a lot of actually different things which are used in the field. Like I was meeting with the guys of, probably the how do they call it? Oh my God. KYT. Do you know the KYT? Know your transaction. So the companies who are tracking every single transactions, outgoing and incoming. Yes, the chain analysis. It's one of the leaders in this field. So the guys are actually learning about every single transaction, and you can know exactly the moment of receiving payments or sending payments to some wallet. If this wallet is fraudulent, if there has any connections with black markets or whatever, and they're really powerful. I mean, it's been used by FBI and with the investigations around the globe. So they showed how it works, and it actually shows every single step in the blockchain and the connections, and showing the red flags if it's connected to something not clean or having any problems. But the only one problem in crypto that just based on the blockchain technology, you couldn't, if the money is sent to you, you couldn't, you have to receive it. You have to receive it. So no problem not to get it. So it will come to you, even if you know that it's from somebody, terrorist organization or whatever. You have no options. You will receive it. then you can freeze it and start an investigation or send it back, like say, no, I don't want your money, whatever. So, and this is one of things which currently exists and could be applied to every single product. Depending on your level of risks, you could leverage what is acceptable for your business, for your jurisdictions, for, well, depending on many factors, you can evaluate the amount of the risks you would like to handle. You can just totally remove any possible risks and do not send or receive any payments from any guys who was connected with something, even, you know, middle risk. So this is one thing which could be applied. Second, of course, if you have like smart contracts, if you have any type of security, definitely the audit of big companies or the guys who are really good at this really helps. On the beginning stage, definitely it costs sometimes up to 10K with the good companies, like 5K, 10K could be. So of course, in the beginning, it could be even much cheaper. Like there is A, B, C, you know, and this depending on the level of the company. So you could choose, you know, the number one tier one companies to check it, to test it, to try it. So that's where we move into in the next quarter, and we will be using this type of audits. But in terms of our product, we're currently more centralized than decentralized, and that's actually one point we can discuss a lot, because I'm the one who thinks that there is no pure decentralization. I think it's a myth. Yeah. There is no decentralization. Like total decentralization, probably partly only in Bitcoin. That's it. Yeah. So all other currencies, all other chains are not completely decentralized, and there is not a single product on the market, especially business to business, who is completely decentralized. Yep. At least I do not know that. And in this case, as I told you, we, as our strategy, chosen to go to the Web2 companies, and they require much more flexibility. Like they would like to see additional details of the transaction. They would like to get more data from the customers. They would like to have different percentages depending on the amount of money they would like to receive, etc., etc., etc. And all this is completely impossible on the blockchain, because when you set up the smart contract, you cannot change anything. And that's actually one of the bad points about the smart contracts, because when you deploy it, there is some types of contracts which you can like fix some bugs, but very minor changes can be done. And that's the point. Of course, it's the matter of security. When you sign a contract, you're completely sure that it's A, B, C, not something else. And that's a pro things for this for the smart contract. But for the businesses, it's sometimes gives more pain, to be honest. And that's why we go to the more centralized solution. So right now we are having like dozens of the wallets, and we're changing them depending on the amount of transaction, because there is some things about the verification. You should be sure that this amount of money was sent by exact person, and that's a pain actually, especially if you're receiving a lot of transactions during the day. It's not an easy task, especially in the Ethereum. Because in Bitcoin, for example, you can generate different addresses for one wallet, and you can track who paid you what, and it's much easier. But for the Ethereum, it's impossible. So you have to have different wallets for every single transactions if they happen at the same time. So to understand that the person A was actually paid the amount of money. And actually, just recently, just yesterday, I was talking with the investors, and he was asking me, okay, I can create the wallets. It would cost me nothing. Why should I use your product? And I say, okay, no problem, you can. But just imagine 10 people trying to pay you. One of them paid not full amount of money. First of all, you should understand who did that. So how will you know that? And it's just one simple, example. And there is like thousands of these kind of questions you will be faced during the receiving of payments. And of course, if you will add all the blockchains, if you are all the coins possible to receive, it's like thousands of possibilities. It's crazy. It's impossible to do manually. I mean, well, if you're a sole entrepreneur and you're receiving one payment per day, no problem, you can use it. But in all other cases, it's impossible. It's crazy. So in our case, what we use a lot of different wallets, and it's with a small amount of money, then we move part of the money in bigger sum to the different wallets, and some of the biggest sums are moving to the cold wallets if it's necessary. So it's just one additional layer of security. And in terms of the security on the Web2 level, we have, like, I think, one of the top specialists in the market. And in terms of Web2 security, it's incredibly secure. Like, we use every single layers of security. In terms of DNS, in terms of IP, you couldn't track where it's moved to, where it's located currently, etc. So in Web2, like, we're number one. In Web3, we're still moving to more security because we do understand that's the next steps. So we will definitely add up separate layers of security, like Fireblocks, the guys who is actually creating the additional security for the payments. So we will use some third-party solutions, which are already like number one or number two in the market. So that's the next steps, and we will definitely go there because we completely understand that everything concerned with the money is concerned with the security, and that's the most important thing. But in our case, so we do not limit any amounts of money which you would like to withdraw. So if you receive money, you can withdraw it immediately. Just there is no limitations in here. And definitely, it's worth to get more money and send it in one transaction later on, it would be cheaper. But it's up to you as a company to do whatever you would like to. So we do not limit it here.
So at core,
of course,
are you
two-step
guys,
verification, etc. It's just basic things. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
So at core, are you guys a Web3 company or a fintech company?
You mean we are?
Yeah, INXY.
We are, I think we're fintech plus Web3. So we're moving to the Web3 because the idea is actually, yes, in terms of the general overview and the strategy, we actually give the possibility both for the customers and for the clients to choose either decentralized or centralized solution. So we will have both. So depending on your needs as a customer, you can use both possibilities. And if you're a company, and if you're a user, you also can use direct payments via the MetaMask. No problem, you can use it as well. And as soon as we will deploy the smart contracts for the subscriptions, it will be also possible completely on-chain. It would be in the next quarter, in the quarter one. And the main reason behind it, because we're aiming at the B2B solutions. So right now we're trying to understand all necessary requirements which would like businesses to have, and only then deploy the smart contract. Because as I said, when you deploy, you can do nothing with that. You cannot change it. So yes, so I think we're kind of the bridge between the Web2 and the Web3, which is helping, first of all, Web2 companies to receive payments in crypto, and also the Web3 companies to make it much easier, because we're looking from the perspective of Web2 companies, to make it as simple as possible. So my grandma can pay it, and without any problems. And that's the main point. We're trying to move in there. Of course, it's not always easy, because to make something very easy, it's really a tough thing. To make easy, it's the toughest, to be honest. And that's where we move into. And actually, we will add also like on-ramp and off-ramp, which means you can pay with a Visa card, which will be converted to the crypto, and vice versa. You can withdraw funds directly on the MasterCard or Visa card within seconds. Of course, it will cost you, because unfortunately, Visa and MasterCard charge a lot, like around 4%. It will be around 4%.
4%? Yeah, no, 2%.
It's 4, unfortunately, and it's just we couldn't go dive smaller, because that's what we receive from this third party. And yes, it's easier. If you choose to make it easier, you have to pay for it. Unfortunately, it's always so. And in terms of the main idea of the product, we charge like the lowest fees on the market, starting from 0.5 to 1% for all transactions. So it's very, very small amount, and we do not want to charge more because the main idea is to make it easy and affordable as possible for all included in the circle, you know. So that's briefly it. Sorry if it was a bit longer.
No, absolutely. So like, do you guys have any competitors right now?
Yes, we do. So part of the because the main idea was to make the crypto payments in the subscriptions. That was the initial idea. Then we added also just one-time payments because it's much more frequently right now because people not get used to the subscriptions encrypted yet. But we provide this type of decision. So about the competitors. There are several competitors, and what they do the so-called streaming payments, which means you sign up the contract, smart contract, and it started to go like every single second, small portion of the money. So if it's $100 per month, it charges you every second, very, very tiny portion. So it goes. The good thing about it, it's perpetual. So once it's signed, the smart contract, you pay the fees, the gas, and that's it. This is a very good point about it. Another good point about it that if it's salaries, you as the employee receive payment every single second. First of all, it's really nice to see when the money is coming to your wallet every single second. It's really, you know, things like the water and the fire on which you can watch like endlessly, but and you can withdraw it every single second, which is also very convenient. But the main point that for businesses is not a very good solution. You as a business have the risks of getting money for just 1 or 2 days or even hours, because if they have no more money on the wallet, you will not receive anything. And that's the big point of these smart contracts, because I was talking with a lot of clients from the businesses, and they're not really happy about it. Because if you're having the solutions which charge you for every single second, it's exactly what they would like to. But in all other cases, which is like 99.9%, they don't want it. They want to receive 30 days payments just right at the moment, and the next one within 30 days. And in this case, the competitors are not working properly. So I think they more for the Web3 companies, that smart contract, and also for some parts of the products or services which could be used, like when you use the power for an hour or half an hour. You know, if you do processing, use processing capacities, it will work. So in this case, I get a feeling that they are more aimed on the business B2C customers, you know, more for the customer than for the businesses. So in this case, I do not see. Well, there is some competitors, of course, in the different fields. There is competitors, like in the salaries, in the payrolls. Of course, there is a competitors, and there is a very good ones, especially in the fiat money. It's incredible guys who are doing just an incredible job. And of course, we will be not reinventing the wheel. We will be getting the best what they did, and just to combine everything in one solution. So, and our approach also, you know, it's and one more thing about the competitors: majority of them are using only one blockchain. You know, they either was funded by the blockchain foundation, or they, for example, in Solana, or just in Ethereum, and that's it.
Yeah.
In our case, we're trying to implement as much blockchains as possible, and do not depend on any single solution. So the customer will choose how it's more convenient for them to pay. For example, we've been asked met with the Ton guys. Probably you know Ton. It's the blockchain which will be implemented in the Telegram.
Yeah.
So they want us also to include it, and we have the APIs and everything. We just do not have manpower to do it fast enough. So we will do it for every single blockchain. So for us, it doesn't really matter. If it's convenient for the customers, if it's convenient for our clients, no problem at all. So whatever we'd like to, you can choose it. So that's the approach, just to use all the best possibilities of the Web 2, Web 3, decentralized and centralized solution, and make it as easy as possible. So that's the idea behind, the main strategy. Just in short.
Yeah. How does INXY make money?
We are transaction-based business, so every single transaction. So when you receive payments, we charge around 1%, which means we have to put through hours like millions of dollars to get something really to receive something. We have to put a lot of transactions through the system, but it's like long-term business. It's sustainable, but long-term businesses. They definitely will not be positive within this year or even maybe in the end of the next year. But we know that, and we actually, yes, the idea is long-term. So to make it as easy as possible, as cheap as possible. But yeah, well, we suffer a bit for some period of time, but it's okay for the businesses. And definitely, one more thing. Definitely, we will give more possibilities for the businesses. Like staking options would be also available in the Q1. Like if you would like your money to work and bring additional benefits, no problem. We will give these possibilities. Or you would like to exchange from one coin to another, from one blockchain to another, also will not be a problem at all. We have a lot of connections with liquidity pools, with exchanges who would like to join us, but we would like to choose the right one to make it first as transparent as cheap as possible for the customers, because that's the main idea. There is one more thing, OTC. When the company would like to change money from the fiat to crypto, and this is also what we would like to provide them. And there is a lot of solutions, but majority of them charge a lot, like 5%, 4%. But for the business, it's crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
And we right now founded 2 solutions, which gives much lower fees for the business, especially if it's a big amount of money to be transferred to crypto or vice versa. Yeah.
So how do you guys deal with payments in crypto in countries where crypto is not regulated? For example, India, Russia.
We couldn't. Unfortunately, we couldn't. So we're aiming to be white from the very beginning. So we're not dealing with with the company who deal with the adult industry, who are dealing with so any gray areas would not go there at all. The same about the countries. Unfortunately, we do not want. If it's possible for the users, no problem. You can pay from India. But as the businesses in India, you cannot receive payments in our system, unfortunately. So as soon as the regulations will, because yes, to be safe also for the businesses, because it could be problems for the businesses as well, for us and for the businesses. So we will be working only in the countries where it's available and legal, definitely. Even though the money is not big, because in the prohibited spheres, it's much bigger amount of money right now in the crypto. But as I said, we're working for the long term, so it's okay.
So what kind of are you a B2B company or a B2C
Mainly,
company?
We are working with B2B, which are B2C. So B2B2C. Like the marketplaces, like the hosting services. So we give them options to receive payments in crypto, and they provide services either for the businesses or for the just the regular customers. Or for example, GetTransfer, the taxi company around the globe. So they will use us for the mass payouts. So they will pay crypto for the drivers around the globe. Some who would like to receive the payments in crypto, they will have this possibility.
The hottest thing in web crypto right now, the FTX collapse.
If we talk about what should the companies do in Web3.
So if I'm interrupting, can you just give a little background for the people who might not know what is happening right now?
What happened with the FTX?
Yep.
It's a good question. FTX was like number 2 centralized exchange around the globe, one of the biggest. They have the stadium named by them in the United States. They have like big brands, big people who invest in them and believe them. So it was incredibly big, guys. But in the end, it was actually a scam. Not really a scam, but like fraud schemes. So they used it was another company in the portfolio who used all the insiders' data from the FTX
Alameda Research.
and used Alameda, correct. So they used, and moreover, they used the investments of the people to invest in other, even not connected to the Web3 sphere at all. They was just gambling, playing with the money which they received. It's incredible. When I read all the data, I was like, what the fuck? How is this possible? I mean, it's incredible, really. And it seems like, you know, the people were blinded. I mean, the big people were blinded by the, maybe greedy, because majority of cases when you lose money, it's because of the greedy things in the crypto, at least. Where every time I was a bit too greedy, I lost everything. So like that's this, at least for me. So I got the same feeling about the FTX, the same about Luna. You know, when they provide too big returns, if you have too big returns, you should be really concerned about it, because like more than 10%, it's possible, but you should really good understand pretty well how it works, what is big in the background, do they have enough amount of money, etc., etc., etc. So in the NFTs, they use the money of the customers for their own side investments. They do not have enough coverage of the funds of the customers. Moreover, majority of the funds were converted to their own money, to their own FTD, which was not covered by US dollars or anything at all. So like billions of dollars was just nothing, to be honest. So when the people wanted to withdraw it, there was no funds. So
I think
it was
like
these
incredible. Exchanges, the crypto and stock exchanges, they have to have the liquid cash, something.
Absolutely. To back as a regular banks, you know, they have to have the liquidity of the real money behind it. Otherwise, it's really risky. Because when the people want to withdraw, if it's like the threshold is like bigger than they can hold, that's it. They just die immediately.
What are your thoughts on the cash?
What are my thoughts? First of all, not to hold all your money in one exchange, especially in the centralized. Definitely, it's much safer to hold them in your either cold wallets or MetaMask, doesn't matter, wherever, not on the exchange. So use exchange was just for the, if you use it for investments, like I'm using it for the futures, you use it, but not full amount of money, because it's always risky. Also use several different exchanges just in case something happens with one. And to be honest, with the crypto, you should be ready to lose everything almost every time. So mainly only in stable coins, and even stable coins, better to hold it in several stable coins like DAI, which is decentralized one, USDT, USDC. So better to keep it on different. The same as in real money, you know,
US,
like euro, dollar.
Yeah, USDT is like the index fund of.
So just be
you'll
careful.
Not lose everything in most situations.
Yeah, but even in stable coins, you better to split it between several stable coins. If it's big amount of money and you want to keep them, definitely change it to different. Like DAI is a good option for sure. It's a bit less liquid. I mean, it's not all okay. It's okay as well. I'm not right here. I'm just get used more to USDT, but it's not fair because DAI is also pretty good. There is no volatility at all, like less than 1% in general.
Did you use FTX or?
No. I mainly used Binance, so no problem.
Binance is the company that actually Like,
Killed them. Yeah.
put the nail on the coffin.
Yeah, nail. But they just uncovered the truth. So that was the matter of time, to be honest. So he was just pointed out because because the guy who owned the FTX asked the guy from the Binance to help them.
Yeah.
So he got all the papers. He read it. He was shocked and said, "No, guys, we're not ready to pay to buy it because there is no money there." And that's it. Because when the market heard that when Binance want to buy FTX, everything was starting to rise again. Everything was gaining confidence that everything will be okay. Binance will save it. But when Binance looked at the data or the financial data and they understand there is nothing behind it, of course it would be crazy to go there. It's like headshot. What for? And yes.
So
it was really tough. I mean, for the market, it's really bad for the Web3, for everything, because it's about the belief. It's about the trust, and that's the most important part. So we slowed down for at least 1 year, just because of this. Because a lot of even a lot of big investment funds was invested in the FTX. So yeah. A lot suffered, to be honest. Too many. Billions of dollars. Unbelievable. Crazy.
Absolutely. It's crazy right now in this market.
To understand the amount of money, because it's really unbelievable. It's a huge amount of money. And the funny thing about the FTX, maybe you heard that they reported that it was like the hacker attack and $800 million was stolen. But everybody thinks that it was the loophole for their own, so they just stolen this 800, and $1 billion more was invested somewhere, and they have no idea where it was invested. And I was, what the fuck? Come on.
The financial team was a mess, actually.
Unbelievable.
No one knows what goes on.
Have you saw the team who was working for the company now? Like the guy 16 to 20 years old, like a bit freaky looking guys. So it's not the team which is behind the biggest exchange, to be honest. Yeah, just look at them. No, I mean, I would not want to hurt anybody. I mean, it depends. Vitalik also looks, as I am, also looks not like perfect guy, but that's the only guys. I mean, the only 10 guys who was behind this, who was not really good in the financial business before at all. And that should, at least, like, not the red flag, but at least, like something wrong.
In your opinion, this is the last question, what is the future of crypto?
Oh, I do really believe in both in the Web3 and in crypto, because, initially the blockchain, Bitcoin was like the reply for the centralized solutions, and was like fight against the banks, etc. But if we look on the Web3 and the DeFi concepts, they're incredibly powerful. I mean, of course, the banks do not want it because they eliminate the banks, to be honest, the DeFi at all. You do not need banks in the DeFi. But in terms of the global progress and I love the idea of decentralization, even though I thought and thinking right now that majority of it's a myth, but still it's a good myth. We're moving in the right direction. I do believe in crypto because it's much more convenient. It's much more fast. It's much more, in majority of cases, reliable. It gives much more options, especially for the countries who have problems with the banking systems, the people who suffers to open bank accounts, etc. So even for those who are not really covered by the banking system, they provide huge amount of options and possibilities. So I'm sure it will be growing. I'm sure it will be blossoming in 10 years for sure. And even the NFT sphere, if we not look on the JPEGs part, but on the ownership part, and the like soul-bound NFTs, and all this kind of things, proof of work proof of your identity, proof of your education inside the NFTs. It's incredible possibilities. Or your
NFTs are
passport,
much more than just JPGs.
JPEG, yeah, because it's just do not invest there. I lost everything you invested, but I'm not a professional there. So, but in terms of the value of NFT itself, as the idea and the approach, it's incredible powerful. The same as DeFi. I'm not sure about GameFi because it's on the early stages, and what I see, it's not perfect. But still, Metaverse is also incredibly powerful, and of course, payment in Metaverse would be definitely crypto because it's much easier. It's not dependent on the country, so it's a worldwide. Then you can use only crypto in this case. So I believe in the future of the crypto for sure, like 100% sure. It would be ups and downs, definitely. Unfortunately, and definitely the same as in just a regular economy. It's the same. We have ups and downs. We have problems. We have solutions. But anyways, in terms of the technology-wise, it has much more advantages. So in this case, I feel like it worth it, and yeah, it gives much more options for the businesses, for the consumers, for the society in general. So I do believe in it. Definitely. Full-heartedly.
You should.
Absolutely.
That's it from my side. That's all the questions I have.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, man. It was
anything you'd
nice
like to
talking
say?
to you. Good luck to us to survive during these tough times, for this starting businesses to hold, to rely only on yourself, because it would, if previously it can be like up to 6 months to get the investments, right now it could be up to 1 year. So especially even if your product like good, if you have traction, because without the traction right now it's almost impossible to get the money.
Yep.
Only one possibility, mainly, to go through the Y Combinator or other accelerators. That's the only one options for those who have no traction, unfortunately. So right now it's tough times. So yeah, be prepared. But the good thing that the best will survive, and the market would be much cleaner and better place. I mean, the solution would be better, the competition would be better, everything would be better. You know, the downturns wash away everything which was just like fakes or not good products. And in the end, only the best will survive, and the market itself will be better. So I see it like that. Darwin principles, tough, but okay, what to do? The best will survive. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. So I wish we could talk more. Fortunately, I have to go now.
Sure, man. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for inviting.
Same here.
Would be looking forward.
Yeah.